I think I'm saying that we struggle all our lives to answer it. But it's the struggle that is important. That's what helps us to define our place in the universe.
This is Beverly, Dr. Beverly, Dr. Beverly Crusher.
Look where we are. Here, all of us, in this moment. So let's do what we spent our entire lives learning to be great at.
And this is Crusher Convo.
We're finally here, guys. The finale of season 3 of Strange New Worlds, New Life, and New Civilizations. Don't forget, if you have not seen this episode, turn back now because there will be spoilers.
Spoilers.
I went into this episode with pretty low expectations, and the reason being was because I wasn't really sure how they were going to wrap up this storyline with Batel in one episode, right? In an hour. And so I knew it probably wasn't going to be as emotionally gripping as episode 9. Now, it was emotional. I will give you that. There were some moments, there were some really good moments, and there were some low moments, but it wasn't an episode that I would probably rewatch again. And the reason being is just, it was a little too confusing for me. And then it also was just a lot to unpack in a very small amount of time. But let's just go ahead and jump right into it.
Seems to have been rebuilt from emergency backups. Let's see if we can get the pieces to cohere. Oh my...
Scotty, whose pattern was rebuilt?
Ensign Gamble's pattern. And it's left the ship, but where did it go?
If it isn't Dr. Corby, the man who wants to live forever, well, you've come to the right place.
This part I was really surprised. I wasn't expecting that the body of Gamble was going to return. So this Vesda, evil creature, evil being, was able to pick apart his pattern from the pattern buffer, recreate him, and transport out. As Spock said, he would have said that that never would have worked until now. And I still don't understand the technobabble behind all of it, but I probably don't need to, and that's fine. Suspension of disbelief, right? So, but this, I was all like, man, like the poor ensign is being violated in more ways than one. Like, it got killed in a horrific way, and then this evil being took over its body and was using his memories and all this stuff, and then this was kind of a last jab for M'Benga to have to deal with this again, especially to see him in Gamble's body, right? So, M'Benga was like, I'm going to go down there, I have to. And that's why they went down with the away team, because they realized something was going on with Corby. He hasn't responded back, so something's going on. But it's just one of those things where I'm just like, okay, so what exactly does this mean, and how does this work with Batel? Because we knew that Batel, with the Gorn inside of her, basically knew what these creatures were. Ironically, though, it wasn't even just the Gorn DNA. It was also Una's blood and also being human. And there was a whole lot of factors to this. So there was just a lot to unpack in a very short amount of time.
This is the result of the bioscan we took of the Beholder statue on Vadia 9. We didn't think to cross-reference it, because why would we?
Christine, this is not the time.
Look at this. These are Captain Patel's life signs. Right now.
Well, you're saying Maria is somehow connected to the Beholder statue on Vadia 9?
No. According to this, she is the statue.
So here they discover that she is the Beholder. She is that statue that they saw, and because they were saying it's alive, but it wasn't alive and they didn't quite understand it. And well, it's because it is I guess, a magical being. And now I don't know if this particular guardian of these evil entities is supposed to be passed on the way it was, but for some reason, all the pieces kind of fit. And whatever was happening with Batel, she was like the chosen one to be the guardian of this. Again, kind of confusing. Wasn't really sure what to think about, but I figured it had to do with her. Something's going on. And she is more than just Gorn, part Gorn, right? So kind of all those theories of us saying of what happened in Arena was kind of being thrown out the window. And it was much more bigger aspect. I kind of got Wesley Traveler vibes. And the reason why I say that is because Wesley was chosen outside of his human form, right? He was able to understand and access what time, space, and thought actually meant. And even as a human, he was able to, gain that knowledge and that power in order to do amazing things, in order to save all timelines, all humanity, all civilizations, everything with the other travelers, because they have to be those, trying to keep the threads together, right? In this sense, Batel was chosen for this particular moment. Again, it was still kind of confusing at this point, but it was starting to be like, okay, there is something more to this. And so let's see where this goes.
The Beholder's biosignature is mine because I am the Sentry. I have always been effect before cause, remember? Everything that happened to me was so I could do this, so I could be this, so I could stand where I have always stood. It's my destiny.
This was really sad because Batel already knew inside that she was now different. She was not the same Marie prior to getting the Gorn in her. And I think she was really downplaying it this whole time for Chris's sake. And now coming to this conclusion of like, I am more than just Marie Batel. She had to really have Pike understand the facts. Like, I have to stay down there. I have to guard. I have to be what I'm meant to be. And you can kind of see Chris be like a little boy, like just devastated, but then not wanting to be, fall apart for Marie because he doesn't want her to make her feel guilty. He like knew inside that there was also more, but he didn't want to believe it, especially because he has his own fate to deal with later on with, the future that he saw. So again, this was a moment for them where they're now understanding this is their destiny. They each had a path, and unfortunately, it's not one that they can do together.
I won't really be gone. I'll always be with you. All you have to do is look up at the stars and know that I'm waiting for you there. I am filled with light you cannot vanquish. I am the Beholder. But I also Marie Batel. The love I feel is brighter than your darkness.
Now, Joe from Captain's Quadrant had mentioned, he said, there is a flute moment to this in which he was talking about the inner light. I am not a huge fan of the inner light. I don't feel like Picard being gaslit and living a life that was not even true and kind of changing his whole perspective on his life was the way to go. In this sense, though, I feel what Marie did for Pike was kind of sweet because she's giving him a memory of a life that they could have had together, in the sense of like, this was our life together. These are the memories. Hold them dear, because that would probably have been their life outside of this. But because that's not going to be the case, she wanted to give him a gift in that sense, that she had the power to do so. But again, it's also like really crappy and sad because they don't get to have that life. And now he just has to hang on to these memories that are never going to come by. And he's also going to be dealing with this fate of his without her. And so I don't know if this is going to put Pike on a wrong path. And I don't mean like he's going to lose it or he's going to make bad choices or anything like that. But I'm trying to remember in Menagerie, you know, he's in the chair. He's basically not really living a life. And, you know, Spock takes him to that whatever planet it was to be free of what his fate led him to, right? Now, of course, that's not Marie in the Menagerie. I'm not really sure how much they are changing in canon and all that stuff, and I don't really want to get into those kind of details, but it's one of those things that you kind of just like, he's not going to really have this fulfilling life that he's always hoped for. And so it's kind of sad and tragic in a way because I don't know if this is really going to hurt him in the end. And maybe that's why he, you know, this ended up happening to him in these, 10 years later, whatever, getting burned and the, cadets dying and all that stuff. Because he lost Marie, there's always that cause and effect. And then if this happens, this changes your future and stuff. So there's always these different pieces that you're just kind of like, I don't know what this means. And of course, with another like season and a half, because I'm only counting season 5 as a half, who knows what's going to happen with Pike during that time. But again, it was interesting, and in this sense, I guess she was more powerful because she had the love of Marie for Pike, and that's why she was able to destroy or trap this evil again, because we don't know what the other beholder was. We don't know what kind of power that one, had bestowed. But again, it was so different. It was so far in left field that this was something that none of us, I think, ever guessed. I don't know if someone did, kudos, but I wasn't thinking any of this. I thought this was the end of this Vesta, which probably would have been stupid because there were signs. But again, it's just there was a lot to take in, and I just don't know how well it fits. Again, there was a lot to unpack in such a short amount of time. Maybe if this was a 2-hour episode, it might have been better, but because they had to do with Ortegas, try to wrap that up, which again, brilliantly, I think they did a wonderful job. I feel like this just kind of got the short end of the stick. And so, I don't know. I just had mixed feelings as I was watching this because I was confused and I was intrigued and I wanted more, but then I didn't understand it. And so that's where I was at by the end of the episode.
Oh, challenging, schmellinging. Remind me to tell you about the time I spent with the traveling doctor I once knew.
Traveling doctor, huh? I mean, I got my doctor on right now. So another Doctor Who reference. And I'm all like, okay, well, that actually makes sense because Paley is 1,000 years old. She would have ran into the Doctor at some point. And it's kind of funny. I was thinking today, I was like, I wonder if she's related to River Song, just because of the hair. She's not, obviously, but maybe. I don't know. Timey-wimey stuff, right?
Is that like a mat transporter like in Star Trek?
We gotta visit them one day.
It's just weird that they keep making these Doctor Who references, and it's just kind of like, are they trying to say something? Are they going to do something? What is Russell and Alex trying to do here? I don't want to all of a sudden get this fun little Easter eggs here and there without anything in the end. Like, if they're going to do it, just do it. Like, I don't know how, but give us some Doctor Who and some Star Trek, right? So I hope this actually leads to something. And but I just thought it was funny. And again, it makes sense that Paley would have known the Doctor. So that's it. That is my thoughts for this final episode of season 3 of Strange New Worlds. And again, middle of the road. Wasn't really sure how to, take it or how to figure it out. I'm still kind of confused. Again, it's not really an episode that I'll be like, oh, I'm going to go back and watch this. Again, it was so fast. There was even one moment in the beginning when they were trying to find Corby and all that stuff, and they just decided to walk right in. I loved how Una did that there, because, Uhura was like, last time we did this, we almost died and got trapped and all that stuff. Una's like, peace, and she just did it, because she's kick-ass like that. But then when they got up there, there's Corby, and he's fine. And I'm just like, okay, that was quick, I guess they're just trying to get through the story. So that's why it felt a little weird. It felt a little rushed in some parts, and trying to give us this moment with Marie and Chris was great. Did it fit? I don't know. It's, again, some people love it. Some people are like, I don't know. And I'm kind of that I don't know portion. So for my final rating, I'm going to give this a 2.5. Let's just say Patels. 2.5 Patels. Okay. And because pretty much we're never going to see her again. I'm going to state that right now, unless she makes an appearance at the end of season 5 and he's the one that she dreams about when he gets burned. I don't know how they're going to do it, but this is the end of Marie. So 2.5, middle of the road, kind of indifferent. It's one of the lower episodes for me. I was kind of like, oh, maybe a 3. I don't know. It's just, I just didn't have fuzzy feelings for it like, some people did. And that's fine. I think there was some great moments, though, in season 3. I really enjoyed a lot of the stories that they did. I did enjoy a lot of the moments that they did. So season 3 was very good. I'm not going to say that it was bad at all. But again, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, the ending happened, and I'm just wondering where it's going to go at this point. So let me know what you guys thought. Comment below. Don't forget to like this episode. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to subscribe. And thank you guys for watching these reviews of mine here on YouTube. And thank you to my Admiral Patreon members who got to see my live reaction to the episodes and also seeing me bawl my eyes out in some of them. And yeah, I hope you guys had a good time. Don't forget to meet me here every other Friday for a new episode live here on YouTube at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And again, guys, that's it for Strange New Worlds. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper.
Crusher out.